I know a lot of people have been talking about what Warner Brothers and DC are planning to do with Superman as it relates to feature films over the past couple of weeks. There have been a couple of articles that have been coming out. There's obviously been a lot of people who have been rallying around the release of the Snyder Cut hashtag as it relates to Justice League, and there's been plenty of talk amongst fans about that. And a lot of it is just kind of the same little squabbling that you see on social media. So I figured I would just go ahead and do this video so I can very succinctly get my thoughts out on the topic and try not to have as much passion and vitriol as other people might have. And I think for starters, I'm gonna talk about the whole Zack Snyder experiment, as it were, because I know a lot of people didn't care for it, and I think reviews were obviously mixed for Man of Steel. And when I saw the film, I thought to myself, this is something that I've really wanted to see from a Superman film, considering the fact that up until this point there was a whole variety of shows, both animated and live action, that featured the character of Superman or Superboy or just Clark Kent. And there was so much content as it related to the character that I was ready for something that kind of wanted to take a different approach. And I didn't mind that it was a little bit darker, and I didn't mind that there was a little more focus on the journey of Clark Kent becoming Superman, and that journey being particularly difficult. And I think that there were a lot of interesting things that were put on display. There were a lot of ideas, and there was a lot of visual creativity that I really enjoyed. Is it a perfect film? No. But there was still more that I took from it that I enjoyed than there was stuff that I didn't like. And I feel like one of the things that Warner Brothers is looking at now is just completely chucking all of it, which I think would honestly be a profoundly big mistake. I know that people have their opinions about Zack Snyder as a filmmaker and as a storyteller, and I think there's still a way to retain some of the elements that he brought to the table and carry them over into a new film with a new director and a new screenwriter. And also, please, for the love of God, keep Henry Cavill in the role. I think that he is damn near perfect as Superman. It seems like he's still expressing interest in playing the role in another film. The man is an absolute Adonis. I mean, if you look at his arms, it's like the He-Man action figures that you grew up with. It's kind of ridiculous. This is your Superman, and you kind of need to stick with them. At least that's what I think. I know a lot of people, when they heard rumors about Michael B. Jordan getting involved, they lit up with the idea of a black Superman, and 100% not here for it. Like, you can keep that. But I feel like there are obviously a way that you can take what Cavill is established as the character and what Zack Snyder was trying to do with the character, and just pass it on to another filmmaker that can elaborate on what he did and create new things that are going to be more appealing to a wider audience. Like, I truly believe that. And I think it's important to also recognize that the films haven't really utilized Superman's villains really well. And I think that more than anything is something that any new film that you end up producing is going to need to focus on. You can probably throw in someone like Brainiac or Metallo or Parasite. Those are some great villains that you can do so much with the right team of filmmakers behind it. And you just need to give them the time to craft a story that will actually work. I think as far as a director, at the very least, I know a lot of fans want to see people from the animated universe take the reins on it, and I think that it's a partially good idea. I do like the idea of having someone who kind of cut their teeth in the animation world, but taking a stab at directing a live-action Superman film. And I think if you were to get someone like Brad Bird, that would be money in the bank for me, quite honestly. I think that's someone who has a lot of love for the superhero genre and someone who is a storyteller that manages to connect with as wide an audience as possible. So that's probably where I would take it. Another person I probably wouldn't mind seeing is maybe Catherine Bigelow. Like, I think if you look at the films that she's done and her understanding of men in general, I think is kind of brilliant. And if you were to have someone like that take on a Superman movie, that would be interesting to see, because I think there'd still be a lot of examination of the character that we got comparable to what Snyder was trying to do in his films. And I think it would just be fun to have a director of that caliber take on the character of Superman. But the main thing right now is I think Warner Brothers just needs to put Superman on the back burner right now. Just focus on the other stuff that you're doing pretty well. Like, a lot of people like to talk about DC and Warner Brothers films as if they're just, you know, objective failures across the board. And we have successes like, you know, Shazam that came out this year. We have Aquaman, where this is a character that had been a joke for 30 years in popular culture, and he had one of the biggest films of last year. We've got a sequel to Wonder Woman. We've got Birds of Prey coming out. I'm very excited about what Ava DuVernay and Tom King are doing with New Gods. Like, from a visual standpoint and from a storytelling standpoint, I'm really excited to see that film. So whenever that comes out, I am definitely getting my ticket. That's getting my IMAX money. That's getting my 3D money. That's getting my, you know, premium seating money. Whatever. I am here for it. I almost forgot to mention Joker, which got a lot of praise and is a record-breaking film commercially as far as being one of the most profitable comic book movies ever made, and one of the one of the highest earning R-rated films ever made. Bottom line, let's give Superman a break for a while and stop acting like it's something that absolutely needs to happen right now. Like, take your time with it. Keep a man Cavill on deck, because I'm sure he'll be happy to return if you ask him to. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've got any comments on this topic, please feel free to leave them in the section below. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the notification bell if you want to find out when more videos are coming out. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family, and if you'd like to subscribe to @Random, you can do so by clicking this button right over here.